by the Austrian driver in the black Sauber. Prost leads, Hill second, Wendlinger is third, and Ayrton Senna is up to fourth position ahead of Schumacher and challenging Wendlinger as they go round the right-hander into the old hairpin. Senna is up to third.
To Ayrton Senna, if Warwick can just hold on, he's got a long way yet to go, and behind him the fastest man under adverse conditions in Formula One, probably the fastest man under any conditions in Formula One, Ayrton Senna.
Senna has certainly gained some closeness to Derek.
If I were to count back all the world champions, and after all this is the 500th Grand Prix, that if you totaled up all of those great champions, the number of times they had made contact with other drivers, that you in the last 36 months or 48 months have been in contact with more other cars and drivers than they might have done in total.
I find amazing for you to make such a question, Stuart, because you are very experienced and you know a lot about racing. And you should know that by being a racing driver, you are under risk all the time. By being a racing driver means you are racing with other people. And if you no longer go for a gap that exists, you're no longer a racing driver, because we are competing. We are competing to win. And the main motivation to all of us is to compete for a victory.
Started quite well, I would say, in Brazil. Even Aida, it was a good race, and then we came up to Imola. And what happened there is just when I talked about nightmare in the before, then I have to say it's in the other direction, and all of us know what kind of feelings we had to make about this particular fight, but as well for Roland and as well for Carl, what happened in Monte Carlo. For me, it was always clear that I'm not going to win the championship, and it's Ayrton who is going to win the championship. He hasn't been there for the last races, and I'd like to take this championship and give it to him.
This is what we saw. Eric Thomas coming through the second part of Blanchimont, flat out in sixth gear, something like 180 miles an hour, and that was Ayrton Senna going into the dust behind him. Senna was the only driver to stop, get out of his car, and go and see what condition Comas was in.
I was no longer driving conscious, and I was in a different dimension for me.
A execução do hino nacional brasileiro. Senna com a dificuldade do movimento, repare, recebe ali o seu troféu. Estressado fisicamente, completamente estressado fisicamente. Ele tenta de todas as formas erguer o troféu e põe lá em cima. Não há dor.
That in a sand divot, about 180 miles an hour.
Yeah, it looks so much bumpier on this camera. The first corner's a little bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, climbing the hill. As he gets up there, look, notice his right hand. He's yet to put two hands on the steering wheel because he's busy shifting.
It was so much more hardcore back then.
And then down the bump, it didn't move out across the bump, and then
everyone does that still.
Such a wide.
If you look at the apex there, there's a curb. Now there's no curb there. It's just a barrier.
Yeah.
So he's having to avoid the curb, or some people obviously touching that curb. Looks like his car's quite stiff.
That's the barrier he hit in '88. Otherwise, he would have won 7 races instead of 6.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that is.
No onboard cameras in the tunnel, they didn't work back then.
And look at that guy just standing there. There's no...
Now compare this down,
so different.
Down into the harbour chicane.
Not taking any curb. Looks a little bit tighter. I think now you can take the curb now in Formula 1.
He was in neutral on the way in. He was in neutral, he didn't quite get the downshift into to back.
Can't imagine going into to back one-handed. I mean, that would be crazy.